There we go. Recording has started. Okay, lovely. And I'll come back here. Awesome. Okay, so before we get started, everyone, can I just make sure that you're in the right place? This is for psychology. Yeah, everybody here for psych, undergrad psych? That's awesome. I thought there was going to be 5 of us. So awesome that you guys came. My name's Ali Enright. I'm a senior lecturer in psychology, and really, I'm really prevalent in the first year psych space. So you guys, we're going to get to know each other quite a lot. I teach psychology 1B, which is what you guys should be registered in for second semester. So hands up, everyone in Psych 1B? Yep, everyone. So who's not taking Psych 1B? Let's start with that. Anyone not taking Psych 1B next semester? Yep. Okay, let's have a chat after just to make sure that you've got your enrollment sorted and everything's okay. So, and I just want to see a show of hands. Who's taken Psychology 1A? Did you take it in the summer maybe, or have you taken it in first semester or no? And so I want to let you all know that I'm going to go through kind of what you can expect in first year psych, but Psych 1A or Psych 1101, we now offer that online and in a purely online way, and you can take it in the summer or you can take it semester 1. So, but a lot of what I'm going to do with you guys today is one, getting you guys talking to each other so that you can get to know each other and familiarize and start thinking about how to support you to be successful while you're here. But then I just want to give you a little bit about what to expect with Psych 1B, because that's your core first year psychology topic that we're going to be doing this semester, right? So I'm your topic coordinator for that one. And then I kind of am sprinkled throughout the psychology undergraduate program. So I'll see you for cameos here and there in second year and again in third year. And then in fourth year, for those of you who are staying to do your honors, you'll see me in first semester again. I like to sort of think of my role here as in psychology as someone who kind of helps to transition you into the university. And then, you know, I kind of help to equip you with some skills and resources to make sure that you're successful all the way across. And then I help to transition you out as well, right? So we all know that it's fantastic to kind of transition in, and there's a lot that we can do to support you to be successful transitioning in, but also that you're really here by and large because you want to get a job in psychology. So that means successfully transitioning you out as well into the big old wide world. Before we get started properly, I should do a land acknowledgement. So land acknowledgement is something that Deb West did at the lunch, for those of you who are at the lunch. Deb West being our executive vice president and executive dean of our college. So Flinders University is organized according to 6 different colleges. And so we're in the College of Education, Psychology, and Social Work. I like to think of our college as sort of social transformation. We care about helping other people, whether that's through psychology or teaching, you know, people into the future or supporting them in the social structures that they find themselves in. We like to contribute to people's lives in a really positive way, right? And pretty much everywhere that you go across campus, different presenters, different lectures, you're going to hear land acknowledgements. And it's where we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And I hope that you're going to start to see people treat that really seriously and provide with a moment to connect and think about you know, the lands that we're meeting on and really pay those respects. So I acknowledge that we're meeting on the lands of the Ghana people and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. A little bit about me, right? So hi, everybody. So like I said, my name's Ali. I love teaching. I've been teaching for about 10 years. I really love teaching in the first and fourth year space. I love first year students, and I really feel strongly about us kind of learning together, right? Even though I might have my doctorate and master's and all those sorts of things, the way that you see a problem, the experiences that you bring often teach me a whole new way of perceiving things, of weaving that into how we teach and etc. So I'm very big on co-construction. It's actually something that you'll learn about in Psych 1102 from our learning theories from Vygotsky. That's a name that you'll get to hear a bit about later in our content. But it means that we co-construct our knowledge together, which means that I'm going to be pretty much always putting stuff back on you, getting you guys to talk in groups together, and then come back to the group again and we share it, right? So we're all co-constructing knowledge together. You can always reach out to me In Psych 1102, and I'll show you that Canvas site in a minute. Canvas is the learning management software that we use at Flinders University. Although some of you might still have the odd topic in our previous learning management software known as Flow, or technically called Moodle, but it just means that you might have some topics across one management. By next year, all of your topics will be in Canvas. So I've designed our topic in Canvas, and I'll show you a little bit about that later. Um, if you ever need to reach out to me, a good place to start is the general discussion section on our Canvas site. I check that daily so that you know that I'm keeping an eye on in case anyone wants to reach out to me. And it's a really good spot to ask questions about anything to do with your studies, anything to do with the topic, or just more broadly about questions that you might have about being a first-year student, or if you need any support with anything, put it there. If you have a personal matter, then definitely email me, okay? So I'm not asking you to put any personal stuff out for everyone to see on the general discussion section. You're always more than welcome to email me. But like I say to all my first years, if you imagine that there's usually hundreds of first years, so I know it looks nice and small at the moment here, but there are hundreds of first year students. And that means that if you're all emailing me, it will take me all week to try and get back to you, okay? So please try to make sure that the personal emails are for just like something that's really specific and personal to you. The other thing that I want to really strongly encourage you to do is come to my office. I love it when students pop by my office. I have office hours, consultation hours every week. You don't have to book in for those. It just means that you can guaranteed find me in my office with dedicated time to you guys for an hour a week. If you want to catch up and that hour doesn't suit you or your schedule, that's a good thing to bounce me an email about and just say, hey, can we organize another time? All right. So that's a little bit about me. I care a lot about student success. So I'm your student success lead in psychology, and I'm also the college lead for student success. But then actually beyond our college, I chair the university student success working group as well. So I'm really dedicated to your success and helping to make you successful and to engage in that success journey with you along the way. And I please invite you to tell me anything that we could be doing differently or better. I'm super duper approachable, so you can always come and chat with me. And if there's something that would help, whether it's in the design of your topic or even broader than that, tell me, and we can see if we can work that out and negotiate it. I've also put Matt, his name up there. Matt often comes to these sessions with me, but he didn't today, but that's just because we're still kind of doing lots of design elements in undergrad psych. Matt is the topic coordinator for Psych 1106, or research methods. It's, I think research methods can be one of those things that's a bit scary for students. I promise you, there's not a lot of maths in research methods, right? Most students kind of come with a bit of math anxiety, and it's like, oh God, statistics, how am I going to do with this? If you can take an average or know how to get a calculator to take an average, you're going to be fine in research methods, okay? So I like to let you know that Matt Christian is the topic coordinator, but you'll see him in research methods 1. And again, we're offering that in the summer as well as in semester 1. So that's a little bit about me. Now, before we kind of jump into this, I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. What I want you to do is just quickly do a round robin at your table, right? Just quickly introduce yourselves, say what your name is. And this is where it's like, oh God, awkward. We have to talk to each other. I promise you, I'm going to keep getting you to talk to each other, not just today, all throughout first year as well, because that's how we know that you develop that sense of kind of connection and just breaking down the barriers a little bit, okay? So get loud, get noisy, do what you need to. Just take a few minutes and do a round robin around your table. Introduce yourselves.
I know we speak a lot. I'm Jackie.
Hi. Lovely to put a face to the, yeah. Lovely to meet you properly. Yeah. Yeah, right, thanks. Okay, I'm going to bring us back together now. So if you didn't get to introduce yourself, don't worry. I'm going to give you another opportunity a bit later. Look, a lot of what today I want to go through, and I'm going to go through these details fairly quickly. They're the kind of basic information that you need. But then I'm going to give us more time to kind of play around a little bit with like, what is kind of the stuff that we really need to be successful. So in higher education, we tend to call that the hidden curriculum. It's not really the content per se, although in first year psych, we do try and make it explicit in your curriculum, in your content. But I think it's the most important thing and where you're going to get the best bang for your buck out of today. Okay, so the nitty gritty, the basics, right? Let's start with Wi-Fi. So make sure that you can see EduRoam. And to log in, you just need your FAN, which is the first four letters of your surname, plus the number that you've been given. You should have that on all of your documentation that you got with your offer and that sort of thing. So anyone having a hard time finding their FAN? If you do, hang about afterwards and I'll give you a hand. So you just use your FAN and then your Flinders password and you can jump on to our network anywhere on campus. And in fact, just something useful to know, your EduRoam FAN and login, all that, works on any campus. So it doesn't have to be just Flinders. You can go to Adelaide Uni and you can sign into EduRoam there. You go to, if you're traveling overseas and they've got a campus, they often, EduRoam is a pretty consistent thing across the different campuses. So you can log into internet kind of all over different campuses. This is Flinders Compass. This is a website that was designed by past students for students. Essentially, if you can see up here, it's really itty bitty, but if you come to just the Flinders home site, right, flinders.edu.au, click on students, you're automatically going to get prompted as soon as you hit the students web tab up here, you're going to get prompted to log into Compass. Compass then will start to use its algorithms to generate the stuff that you click on the most, right? So it's going to start to tailor your student website to you and the options that you pick most readily. In fact, if you were to scroll down here, first you can see that it's got kind of quick links, important dates, those sorts of things. Again, past students tell us that's what they wanted, so that's why it's up there. And then if you scroll down on that website, you're going to get access to all of the support services that we have here at Flinders. So mental health, well-being, student academic advocacy, anything to do with if you take part in cultural or traditions or religious traditions, there's groups, there's clubs, everything that you could possibly imagine we have at Flinders for you. So really strongly encourage you to log into your Compass. That way you're going to start getting a tailored experience to the student website. It'll also populate with your timetable and you can decide if you want your timetable showed in a week-to-week view or that sort of thing. So I think it's useful to jump onto Compass and log in as soon as you get there. You can request to order your ID card by just quickly in a quick link section, order my ID card. The other thing that I find really helpful is the new student section where it takes you literally like through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to getting you from kind of your offer letter to enrollment. We also have enrollment support people right here. So this is Jeremy Chance and Jackie Moorhead, and they are our student administration services staff that are joining us today to help out with undergraduate psychology. If you have any questions regarding your enrollment or how to get any changes through to your enrollment or anything to do with the administration side of things, you can reach out to Jeremy and Jackie today. Do you guys have anything that you want to add, not to put you on the spot? No? Cool.
Ali will show some email addresses later, and some of those come directly to us. So just remember that you can always get in contact with us if you've got questions about the admin side of things, whereas the actual topic, content, and stuff, that's where you'll talk to your expert academics.
And you know what, that's actually a really good point because I often get students reaching out to me saying, Ali, I need help with this. And I'll be like, that's these guys, right? So I can help you with content and the teaching side of things. And they can.
Say as well, level 4, I know it was referenced earlier for people at lunch, but level 4 in this building is the college services and reception. So if you want
that's
to
where we are.
that's where we're based. So feel free to just come in at between 8:45 and 5 o'clock.
That's very helpful. Good point. And it's a really lovely little office too. So go in because they have resources and pamphlets and things around there. So even if you don't have intention of chatting with anyone just yet, go up, have a quick gander, just have a look so you know where it is, what to expect. Okay, so obviously, step one, enroll. I asked you guys already before who's enrolled for Psychology 1B. That's with me. I'm very excited. So if you're not enrolled and you want to be enrolled, come talk to Jackie or Jeremy or I after today, okay? Next is register for classes. This is where you get to go and pick which workshop you want to go to that suits for your schedule, assuming that it's not full. So for us in Psychology 1B, so for next semester, we have 1 2-hour workshop every week. But I run that 2-hour workshop on multiple occasions. So you need to pick whichever one. This is what I tell all the students. I don't really care which one you go to, right? It makes no difference to me. I'm teaching them regardless, and we're running them twice. And in fact, what I tell my students, close your ears, Jeremy, sorry. What I tell my students is even if you're enrolled in, let's say, the Wednesday one and not the Thursday one, but the Thursday one is full, but it fits your schedule and it's better, come to the Thursday one. I don't care which one you come to, just be consistent. You have to be consistent, right? Because I'm going to get you into groups, you're going to be chatting with each other, and that's really important for your success when you start identifying, making friends, and learning who your people are. Okay, so pick one and come to one. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about how those workshops work a bit later. Really, really important. If you don't have one yet, make sure you get a USI, so a unique student identifier. You absolutely have to have one in order to progress in your studies here. And in fact, if you don't, eventually what will happen is you'll get booted out and you'll even lose your Commonwealth supported place. So this is really, really important. If you don't have a USI already, hang out at the end of today and we'll just help you to make sure that you jump on to the Unique Student Identifier website and get your USI, okay? Sometimes I've had, very rarely, but sometimes in the past I've had the odd student who has like a hiccup because they got a USI years ago for something that they did and they didn't remember, and now we have to chase up that one. We're here to support you to do that because it's so important that you get it, okay? So make sure you have a USI. Those are the websites, and then you have to inform the university of what your USI number is. And don't worry, we chase you if you don't have it. Okay, yeah.
USI information doesn't match what's in the university system. That also it doesn't want to it won't let that go ahead. There's two things. One is having one and it stays with you, and the second thing, it has to match what's in your university system. But we will contact you. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we always reach out to you if we need something, but that means that you have to be looking where we reach out to you. So you have a Flinders email address now. Just get in the habit. Start checking it every day. And that's another thing with Canvas as well. Even if you didn't post something in the general discussion section, good chances are, especially in first year psych, someone has. There are usually posts every day in the general discussion section. So even if it's not you that's asked a question, you can undoubtedly benefit from the response. And the response comes from you guys and me, right? So I really encourage everybody this is a community. That's the whole thing that we're doing in first year, is developing a community of learners. And when you look around the room, these are the people you're going to be going through psychology with. And so these are the community that we're all part of. So, obviously we have those typical community rules of like netiquette and making sure that we speak politely and blah, blah, blah. But it's also about just actually interacting with each other. In first year, that's one of the greatest challenges, is helping you to feel comfortable to interact with each other. By the time I see you guys in third and fourth year, you're like, yo, what's up? Right? You're a lot more comfortable and you're a lot more willing to engage with each other. Right now, we're just going to practice on like chatting. Okay, so this is all about what I just said before about Canvas and Flow. Hands up, who's been able to jump onto Canvas already? Have you guys been to your Octa? Yeah, hands up, who's been on, has anyone seen our Canvas site? I see a few hands, yep. So I'm just gonna quickly jump out, and for those of you online, bear with me because I'm gonna jump into and share a different screen. And this is a little bit of an impromptu, so you're just gonna have to bear with me for a second. I'll jump up to, this is your Okta dashboard. I'll go ahead and make sure that the Teams crew can see. So I'm going to share a different window for you guys. And I'm going to just do that. Now, hang on. It's going to be Inception for a minute, and then it'll come out. So, okay, this is what's known as your Okta dashboard. Okay, whenever you sign into your dashboard, you get access to all these apps. These boxes are what I mean by the apps. If you can't see an app that you want to have access to, you click down here, add apps, up pops, you can search in for something. For example, one that I always really recommend is the Career Hub. It's not going to come up, and that's because I already have it. But if you didn't have it on your Okta dashboard, that's where you would go. And I'll just show you what it looks like, because the Career Hub app, this one just here, is really useful for commencing students. I care a lot about developing your pre-professional skills and equipping you with the terminology and the language and the experiences to help you get a job when you're done all this, right? It's really what you're here for in a lot of ways. And the Career Hub takes you to all the, takes you to all the amazing services that we offer here, such as one-to-one interviewing support, job board postings. There's so much that you can get out of this Career Hub. And in fact, I'll weave it into our first year curriculum often. So you'll see me come back to it quite a bit. So this is where you can get onto Office 365 if you don't have access to Word or Excel or anything like that. As a Flinders Uni student, you always have access to those programs through your Okta dashboard. So that's where you can get it. For us, for our site, we're going to come down to Canvas. And then on your Canvas, you have a dashboard, right? And so these are where you're going to see all of your Canvas topics. And that's really important to start checking every day. It's how we as the topic coordinator communicate with you before your workshop or lecture tutorial, etc. right? So for us, we're going to come down to Psych 1102. And this is the on-campus version. And all that means is that Psychology 1B, we offer both in face-to-face and online, okay? If you're enrolled in the online version, you're gonna have a topic coordinator named Tess Barrick, and she's fantastic, she's amazing. We work really closely together, but all the core content that you're gonna learn is exactly the same as the face-to-face people. It's just that it's designed in a much higher quality way for an online. For the face-to-face people, we're going to see each other each week in workshops. You're going to see me every week in the workshop. And we're going to work through this Canvas site together. And you're also going to see Dr. Paul Williamson and Dr. Jessie Patterson. And I'll explain to you more about who they are when you work through 1102 Canvas site. If you're enrolled in face-to-face and you know you're not going to come to the workshops every week because you're like, oh, I know I'm not going to come to the workshops every week, please do yourself a favor and change your enrollment to the online version of 1102. The face-to-face version is not meant to be online. And in fact, some of your grades are dependent on you coming to the workshop. You actually have to come to the workshop to take some of that content to plug it into your assessments. So if you don't come to the workshop, you're not going to be successful in the topic, right? It's much harder to be successful in the topic. That's why partially we designed a fully online version of 1102, because we understand that some people want to take their topics in a purely online way where you don't have to come to the workshop. So if that's you, send an email to askflinders@flinders.edu.au and change your enrollment to the online version and you'll be with Tess, all right? This is exactly how you're gonna see our Canvas site. And I'm just gonna try and get out, there we go. So it's just a little bit smaller for everyone. So this is what you're gonna see when you jump online. I'm in student view, so it's exactly how you're gonna see it. You're gonna see an announcement that's already me kind of saying, hey, welcome everybody, come on. Scroll down, here's a little welcome video. Again, it's gonna be basically me going like, I'm so excited to see you guys and give you some ideas of where to get started straight up, okay? These are quick start buttons. Right? They're going to take you to the most important thing, and you can come over here to our modules, and immediately you can see that you have to start with the topic information and resources module, and you have to complete an item. It's going to tell you which one. Oh, it's this one down here. So before you can go on to this next module, the research reports or the intro to individual differences, you actually need to come up here and complete your topic information booklet quiz. It sounds scary. It's not. It's a really non-challenging quiz where I just want to make sure that you understand how the topic works, right? As long as you attempt it, you get full grades for it. So just give it a go, read through it. Importantly here, topic overview. That's a really important place to start. It's where I'm going to give you all the information that you need to be successful in 1102. And I even give you another little video there about the assessments and the breakdown of the assessments. But the way that 1102 works is that you have a 2-hour weekly workshop. The first hour, we're going to take everything that you've done in your prep for that week, and we're going to apply it to helping you solve real world problems. I want to teach you the value of why I got you to go and learn all that stuff. How are we going to use it in the real world? In the second half, the second hour, you and I are going to meet every week, regardless of who did the first hour. It's going to be you, me, in the second hour. We're going to develop and practice the skills that you need for your assessments. So I'm going to chunk your assessments with you. We're going to go through them step by step. Why? Because in first year, I'm going to teach you how to do it there so that you can apply it to second year, third year, and maybe in fourth year if you're staying for honors. Any questions so far? Yeah? I'll give you a chance to digest everything in a second, okay? I'll come back to here. I'll stop sharing that and I'll jump back over to, oh, I guess I could have just kept going because it was the whole window, but that's okay. Go back to here. Lovely. Okay. So this is everything that I've done already, and I've showed you guys all of this and your modules in Canvas. Okay, last bit before I get you guys talking to each other again. Every single week when we catch up, and this is going to be true for all of your psychology topics, not just us, every single week you're going to have a module. It's like a weekly module, right? The module, it'll look like a little drop-down menu, and that's where you're going to work through the content for that week. We shape the content every week according to these 5 sections, right? The first thing is reflecting on the big picture. This is where we're going to ask you some big questions. It's essentially working to hook your curiosity, get you excited about what that weekly content is. For example, when I teach you about physical development in Psychology 1A, you're with me for that content, I'll say to you, why do we care as psychologists or preparing to be psychologists? Why do we care about how people physically develop? What role is that going to play when we go to support people later on in their lives? So that's reflecting on the big picture, right? Next is learning the core content. We're going to give you diverse media, short videos, student handouts. I even give you a coloring map of the brain because I love coloring in. It's good for mindfulness, and I'm going to teach you about different parts of the brain while you color it in. So we're going to give you lots of diverse media to get you to learn what we call the core content, right? This is replacing the old school lecture, right? So we don't lecture anymore because that's boring and you guys turn off listening, and I would too, right? Instead, we're going to get you doing stuff and learning the core content. After the applying my learning, that's what we do together in the workshop for those 2 hours. We take what you've learned in the core content, apply it to real world problems. Week 1, you guys are going to see Dr. Paul Williamson. I've nicknamed him Papa Smurf. He is amazing. You'll know why when you meet him in week 1. He's got bright white hair and a very sweet little button nose. And he is the wisest educator in psychology that I know. He's going to teach you about personality and individual differences. And he actually gets you doing a personality test. And you guys make some judgments about, you know, is this a valid test? Is this a good, what does a valid test even mean, right? You're going to work through all that with Paul. Then extending myself further and where to from here, those are non-accessible. That's purely for us, for the extending myself further section. I want to give people who are really curious about that week's content somewhere to go with it. If you're really excited by the content that we covered that week, there's going to be some seeds that you can go plant and have a look, maybe some extra readings, maybe some blogs, maybe some podcasts, etc. The where to from here, that's where we're going to start weaving those pre-professional skills. So it's not accessible. You're not going to get examined or assessed on it, but I want you to feel like you can know which organizations might be relevant for you then if you really like that week. For example, in Psychology 1B, we're going to talk a lot about cognitive psychology, and that's my background. So I'm going to put you in contact with our defense group in our Australian government, because they're probably one of the biggest consumers of cognitive psychology research in those areas. So if you're interested in things like working, designing submarine interfaces, or with pilots, or with the army personnel, or in helping people to recognize friends from foes, or etc., I'm going to give you some places and some internship programs of where you can go looking for that content. Okay, before we keep going any further, I want you to take a few minutes, chat to each other, and I want to know, what's your muddiest point so far? What's the thing that you're like, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about what she meant there. Make sure that one person's ready to come and report back. I want to hear what your muddiest point is so far in what we've talked about today. Ready? Go. Okay, let's come back together. Don't worry about what's on the screen. That's just where we're going later. First, what I want to do is hear the muddiest points. So I'm going to draw on the big table first.
We kind of said the difference between like flow and Canva,
Yeah.
but also which isn't really related to this, but like
Yep.
elective subjects.
Oh, good one. Okay, so let's start with electives. So in your degree, regardless if you're a Bachelor of Psychology, Bachelor of Psychological Science, whatever degree it is that is your home degree that you're enrolled in, there are going to be some topics that are called core topics and some that are called elective. And then there's even another group called option topics in some degrees. So the difference are the core ones, you don't have a choice. You got to take them, all right? Psychology 1B is a core topic. Psych 1101 or Psychology 1A is a core topic. Psychology 1106, research methods, is a core topic, right? So those are the core, you have to take those. So it's important to know when they run so that you can find the best plan for you. So for a lot of you guys starting this year in Psych, 1102 is what we're enrolled in for now, starting second semester. But I really strongly encourage you to consider taking Psych 1A, so Psych 1101, and Research Methods 1, Psych 1106 in the summer, because if you want to. But there are pros and cons with that, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about, if they're trying to decide when to take it. The elective topics are kind of like choose your own adventure, right? You kind of get to go and have a try of different electives, but there are things like rules in place that says that you're only allowed so many first year elective topics. So you do want to be mindful of being able to scaffold up so that you have what you need with regards to prereqs for taking second year electives or third year electives, right? You guys are really super duper lucky because your Flinders Psychology Student Association, they got your back here. They put together a document that has all amazing elective topic suggestions for psychology students. And they've even organized it according to when they're available and that sort of thing, and if they tap prereqs and that sort of stuff. I always give that to you guys in Psychology 1B and Psychology 1A. Why? Because students always ask, what should I do for elective topics? And I'm like, your student association has put together this amazing document filled with lots of different electives that are often useful. So things though, think about lots of psych students tend to gravitate naturally towards maybe disability topics because they might want to think about developing sort of some expertise or some knowledge in supporting people with disabilities. Lots of students like to take philosophy or communications topics just to help them with their argumentation and their writing or their public speaking and that sort of thing from comms. There's also lots of students who like to take outdoor ed topics. Why? Because you have your lessons outside, right? You do things like kayaking or rock climbing or mountain biking. So a lot of students naturally appeal to those as well. So really good question. The option topics, if you have them in your degree, they'll give you the list. They'll say you have to have so many units from those option topics. And so they'll already be stipulated right there. So good muddy point, you guys, getting the electives and the core topics and those all sorted. All right, let's go to this table. What do you guys have as your muddy point? Oh, that's great. That's really good. Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, I hope you guys got an opportunity to just chat and get to, yeah. So like, and that's the rest of the tables too. No stress. In first year psych, I'm going to constantly be telling you guys to chat to each other, introduce yourselves and that sort of thing. And if ever I ask you to bring something back and you're like, we're not really sure, that's okay too. It's still a really valuable, worthwhile opportunity to chat and speak with it. Do you guys have any questions while I'm here?
I actually wanted to ask about the psychology 1A, if I should do it now or ask you afterwards individually.
Well, how about we chat about it afterwards? It sounds like it's something specific to your experiences. Sounds good. Okay, let's come back to this table here. What do you guys have as your muddy point?
We didn't really have anything. The only thing that ever came up for us was the whole enrollment process, but we
Yep.
managed to get past that, and that was, you explained everything really clearly. So
Oh, wow.
didn't really have
You
anything
guys.
to
Okay, cool. All right. And enrollment. I'm a really good arm mover as well. Okay, cool. What about you guys? Did you have a muddy point? Oh, wow. Okay, so you feeling really confident so far? Oh man, please tell me you guys had a muddy point. Any muddy points?
Most of us were just kind of a bit mixed up around the differences between flow and canvas. And
Okay.
some was previously on flow, but that's probably something I can explain.
Well, I think it's a good point to reiterate, and another group had a similar situation. So this is the only time, this semester is the only time that it's going to affect you, where you might have some topics in flow and some topics on Canvas, because by 2024, every single topic at the university has to be on Canvas. We were in psychology, we were some of the very first to have our topics converted and running in Canvas. And what that means for you guys is that we've had an opportunity to already kind of work out the kinks, right? We did it in the summer this year. So January of this year, we ran our first ever first year psych topic on Canvas. We got a lot of data from the students who did it. They told us what worked well for them, what we needed to tweak. And so we tweaked it. And then we ran it again last semester with a bigger group of students, and it didn't break. So that's wonderful. And it's all worked really well. And so now I've designed 1102 in the exact same way based on the student experience. So the only difference is that when you go to your Okta dashboard, remember that's the place that houses all those apps. When you're in there, you either have to click Flow for your site or you click Canvas. So if ever you can't find one of your topics, check those two places. If you still can't find it, email your topic coordinator. That's a really good reason to email your topic coordinator. It is absolutely fundamental to your success that you check your flow or Canvas every single day and your student email. That's how I'm going to reach out to you and get in touch with you. And I do. If you don't engage online, if you're not turning in your assignments, I will chase you. I will send you an email. I will send you a message and I'll be like, hey, is everything okay? Because I want to make sure that you've got what you need, but I'll also back off when you're like, no, I'm getting there. And you can say, okay, great. You know, we'll get a good thing happening. Okay, moving on then, we don't have heaps of time. I just want to give you guys a few nuggets to think about moving into your time here at Flinders and your study journey. This is Alf Lizio, and he is a very prominent researcher in higher education. And he talks about the 5 senses of student success. This is an incredibly prolific model that's used now to support student success across all over the world, not just in Australia. So let's just have a quick watch of this, and then we can talk about ways for you to develop your senses. Let's just make sure we have some volume. Never easy. No, so what if I escape from here? And there we go. I'll come up here. And I'll have to share this in a different screen for you guys. Oops. It was there. Here we go. Sometimes it likes it from here. So let's try. And still don't like the volume. Ah, maybe that's why. Okay, now I'll come back to here because then I don't have to share a different screen for you guys. So a lot of what we do in first year psych will be that we develop your senses with you. But for the last few minutes now, before we go, I want you to have a chat with the people at your table. Remember, if you might need to remind each other what your names are. If you're anything like me, all of like names go in one ear and then completely gone out the other ear. So you might have to remind each other of your names. I want you to think about what's one way that you can develop one of your senses. Any of the senses, it doesn't matter. Pick one way, chat for a few minutes, and then we'll close off with just a little bit about the coffee buddies and why I've got a student ambassador here with us today. And then we'll say goodbye until week 1, all right? So a few minutes, have a chat. Okay, let's come back together. All right, let's start. We'll go in reverse order this time. Okay, so you guys, any way to develop your sense? Any of the senses, doesn't matter. Any ideas?
The one which you can't was
Oh, sorry.
sense of resourcefulness
Yeah.
would be to familiarize yourself with the actual resources and services at uni, so you know where you know to get information, get help from work, etc.
Exactly, perfect. So a sense of resourcefulness, one of the things that we'll do really carefully in 1102 is consistently point you to which resources would be helpful for that point of the assessment, right? So we have SLSS, if you guys are at the lunch, Lauren Butterworth presented from Student Learning Support Services. And I really want to emphasize the message that Lauren shared, that this is not, those student services are not for just for students who are struggling. In fact, really resourceful students will know what supports they can engage with to make sure that, you know, if they're typically seeing a lot of distinctions, that they use those resources to bump up to the high distinction. Or if you're seeing a lot of credits, you can use some of those resources to bump up to the distinction category, right? So we're going to constantly kind of put you in contact with those resources along the way. So that's a really lovely suggestion. What about you guys? Did you have any ideas on how to develop a sense, one of your senses?
I have ideas about develop sense of connectedness.
Yeah, beautiful. Can you share one of those?
Yes, I think relationship in university is lowest and high work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should go for every chance of getting a new relationship. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a really friendly person, so anyone who wants to make friends.
That's beautiful. Spot on. I love it. One of the single most evidence-based predictors of your success is developing relationships with your peers. It's why so much of your time in first year psych, I'm going to get you talking to each other, because if you have friends that you can count on in class, like, I missed class this week, what was the workshop participation activity here? You know, or I missed class this week, what did Ali say about this or that? Or having friends that you can reach out to is so incredibly important, really useful for your success. So I think that's brilliant. Get out there. Flinders' logo is being fearless and being brave. And I promise you, I will be awkward enough for all of us in first year. So I'll take everything and make it as goobery as I can so that you guys don't have to feel silly or can enjoy feeling silly with me. All right, how about you guys?
I think I have a great sense of connectedness. So just meeting your staff and like other students, so you can more comfortable, ask for help and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, beautiful. Perfect. A sense of connection is really, really powerful. So yeah, catching up with people. Hey, do you want to grab a coffee after class? Do you want to grab a coffee before class? Or, you know, just put yourself out there. So I love it. Great idea. All right, what about you guys?
I'm not sure if it's like on there, but we were talking about like time management and how it would like help us being prepared for like the workload and also like clearing our minds.
Beautiful. So listen, time management, I would say, falls under a sense of resourcefulness because you understand the resource that's required of you to be successful, right? And one of the biggest things that students tell us that they struggle with is study-life balance. And no surprise, it doesn't get any easier when you get a job, right? Like I was just having a conversation with another academic before this session saying, my new internal gauge of my success as an academic is nailing work-life balance. I have 3 kids, and you guys are going to hear lots about them because I use them all the time, and they love it. I've asked their permission. Granted, they're 3, 7, and 14, so I'm not sure how much the 3-year-old really understands about me asking her permission, but ethically, I do. You're going to hear a lot about my girls. They're all girls, and I want to be present for my kids when I'm with them. I want to be present with you guys when I'm with you. And I think nailing that study-life balance is really important. Every single topic that you take on campus or online is meant to take roughly 10 hours a week, right? That's why 4 topics is considered full-time because it's 40 hours a week. That's a full-time job, right? And that's what it's meant to be. But you have lives, just like I have a life, and you probably work part-time. So I think you really need to consider where those 10 hours per week is going to fit for every topic. And if a full-time load is really for you, I always recommend to my students, if they can afford to do it in time, and if you're not an international student, to consider taking 3 topics a term. 3 topics to me is a lot on students, and it's where you can really focus, clear your mind, and be present in there. But think about your scheduling, actually just the nitty-gritty of your scheduling. Where are you going to schedule You know, we've got 2 hours of a workshop each week. That means technically there should be about 8 hours. I promise you there's not really. I don't have that much content, but according to the uni, you should be able to find 8 hours in your schedule. So where are you gonna do your prep work, the learning the core content? Where are you gonna put that in? And the other thing that's really important is your self-care, scheduling your self-care. Do you play basketball? Do you go to the gym? Do you take your dog for a walk? Do you drink at the Tav on a Friday night or Wednesday night or whatever it is that you're doing? I go to my best friend's house every Tuesday night with a bottle of wine and I Uber home. And we cook dinner, just the two of us, and we drink wine and we chill out. And that is my self-care time, right? So where are you guys getting yours to protect you along the way? So great point, good one. All right, last table. What sense did we have here, or what were you guys thinking?
Well, I think honestly, you could use your resources to strengthen your purpose and capability. You know, going
Beautiful.
to counselors or your, superiors and all of that can really give you a purpose and make your capabilities stronger.
Absolutely. So I fully endorse everything you just said. I was one of those students who had no sense of purpose, really had no idea what I was doing in my undergrad. If that's you, don't stress. Come and have a chat. Use your resourcefulness. Come and have a chat. I did 4 degrees before I ended up where I am here because I just couldn't decide. I just kept studying because I was like, well, I like studying, and it's no wonder I ended up as an academic because really we're all just lifelong students. we never actually go on and get a job. We just get a job studying. That's what we do. But point being is I had no idea really my sense of purpose, and going and talking to people can really help. Okay, look, Alex, I'm just going to introduce you if that's all right. Alex is a student ambassador, and what we're offering just for some students, if you're interested in like a coffee buddy kind of program, right? If you feel like catching up for coffee, like I said in the lunch, let Alex know. And Alex, if we get to so many, just bounce me an email and I can engage some other student ambassadors as well. But the idea of just catching up with someone who's been on campus before, who knows a bit, it's really important. And in fact, in Psych 1A, or Psychology 1A, we weave your third year psych students into the curriculum. So you actually get paired up with a mentor and you actually spend some of your weekly workshop time with them doing stuff. It's good for the third year student. It's good for first year students as well. That's it for us here for your orientation. I'm sorry, I think I went over just a few minutes over schedule. So I'm gonna hang about here for a few minutes in case you guys have questions. Otherwise, Paul Williamson, he's gonna see you in week 1. And that's purely, this is an unusual year. I'm away next week, which is horrible timing. I very much appreciate that. But I've given you everything that you need on our Canvas site. Paul's gonna be with you at the week 1 workshop, and he's gonna take you through the first hour, and then I'm gonna see you guys again in week 2, and I'll be with you from week 2 onwards, okay? I hope you guys have a fantastic time. Check out all the other O Week stuff that's happening, get involved, enjoy it, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon, all right? Lovely to meet you. All you guys online, I'm just gonna stop recording, and then Darcy, I'm gonna come and answer your question. So I'll stop recording. Yes.